to shut the box that they're in.
Well, hello, I'm Alex Hearn. Sadly, I was unable to get to the 7 1/4 gauge Society AGM this year, but thanks to one or two members with camcorders, I've been able to put together a 1-hour programme of the action at Weston Park in September. And now, over to Mark Sharphouse.
Saturday, the 23rd of September, the year 2000. The first AGM of this 21st century. And Weston Park is our venue. Guests of Bruce Worley and the team of the Weston Park Miniature Railway. And the day has dawned warm and bright. Set fair for a good AGM. And the new turntable, recently installed this past 12 months. And over from Northern Ireland, the Finn McCall. There's Frank Holshaw in the distance, with the Lancashire Witch, no doubt. Well, Frank's off the turntable, waiting for the all clear to drop back onto the shed line, and then to pick his turn for his running slot. Well, this year there's 72 locos booked in. Here are the running rotor. They're going to do the Weston Park track in groups of 4. Passing through the various sections, last man picking up the token. And because of the numbers, the actual AGM meeting has been removed from the main house to the marquee put up by the 7 1/4 Society. And this is the scene inside the Weston Park engine shed, typical of many a 7 1/4 meeting. Untypical for Weston Park, it's not full of smoke and steam, people now using the steaming bay outside. There's the Norman Sheard's Idris, and the Peggy Beyond, John Price's Tram, of course. Many people think this is going to be a Hunsworth meeting, the number that has been seen around the previous day on the Friday. Brian Ward's loco, Keith Parkinson's, and of course what we've heard so much about, these large Garratts. Such a lot of work has gone into there to get them running for this particular weekend. With Kilimanjaro beyond. And a pair of diamond stacks, I think these belong to the lads up from Bristol. I hope they have a good run. It's going to be a nice show seeing these running round together. Been giving a touch of TLC there. Tender loving care. And a delightful little Mary Estelle. Beautifully turned out, very nicely finished, and runs really sweetly. And it's occasions like this that bring out the sparkle in many an engineering project. Lovely finish on this loco. And still work to be done. Looking back down the train set. Obviously a newly completed project there in the guard's van. And in the foreground, very nice American profile, clear story, and loco. It'd be nice to see it running, and beyond that, what was the Roger Spalding tram, Bradford tram, now of course pride of our 7 1/4 editor. Linson and Barnstable loco, ex-Isle of Man, LMB. It's been doing a lot of running recently. Last seen a couple of weeks ago up in Comrie, up in Perthshire. And all the paraphernalia that goes with running a steam loco. Well, let's see what's actually happening outside the shed. And under the careful hand of the yardmaster, Arthur Beswick. Will Arthur get his loco into steam this particular weekend? We shall see. Helen Bay sets back onto a steaming bay. Due on at 11.
They don't claim them back.
In these few shots by Bob Durham, see our friend Dave Holroyd remaining inconspicuous. Is that a water pump or an air pump? Derek Burwell also caught quite a selection of locos being prepared outside.
Morning, Arthur. Is it not? I just want to go out.
A superb model of a mainline British Rail standard loco, which was followed by the magnificent sight of the two Garratts, leaving the shed complete with a full load of enthusiasm.
Well, this is the so-called start. The build-up of a rake of locos, brake cart coming up. There's some very nice finished stock. And being brought up to the start, Jim Goodall's The Swarf. While Jim was disappearing into the workshop over the years building this, Sheila was kept saying, seemed to do nothing but produce swarf. So when it was complete and Jim took Sheila through into the workshop, there was the name, Swarf. Down from Edinburgh. Walter Scott, the duty marshal this morning, encouraging Great Northern up to the start. The problem they're encountering further up the track is it's damp and people are slipping. John Price's tram and that little Mary Estelle. Instructions for the duty signalman here, ready for the next set of locos, block of locos going to come up with the Lancashire Witch in a lead. Behind Frank is Anthony Siddle. I recognise the loco. And oh, they're too far away to recognise the other two. And coming down the track, there's a delightful little Kerr Stewart. Beautifully finished. This type of loco was first trialled on the Welsh Highlands in its heyday. Another nicely turned out Hunslet. And one of the Chroma Whites speeding through. Nice Class 8. Whispers through.
Tell them to score with you.
Now at the starting post, Lancashire Lad.
Oh, sorry, I'm just getting in your road, man.
No, yeah, you're all right, Robert. With that Lancashire lass, Molly Dixon. Arthur Beswick's loco. Wave to the camera, folks! And Ross Alderson with the Tigger, up from London. One of the maxi track locos. Then brake cart. Dave at the controls. Jim Goodall's Swarf. And the Kashoni Pass. Being reminded by Bob Smith to collect that token. Right, out of Blue Sector. Well, here's another cavalcade working their way up from the so-called start. Stanley Nicholson on Mike Tram, the Bradford tram, with our American friend from across the water, Clint Hemsworth. Frank Halshaw with the Lancashire Witch. Barry with Red Rum, originally built by Peter Davies. And Oyolo, I think it's called. Small battery loco. The Squirrel. With that rather interesting two-axle enclosed coach at the back. Turning locos coming down. Token having been passed over. Now, Irvin Ambrosius with Ron Manning. Lovely loco. Let's see a little bit of that later on. The Methargo, under the hands of Anne Hazelwood. The flying pair. Let them be. Well, we've got Nelson at the controls, the resident loco. Working its way up to the sunlit glade. Up towards the top passing loop. There's a lovely loco from Cheshire. How's this for double heading? That's Ron Manning's Stretch Romulus. The Mathago. At least the squirrel.
Come on, man.
It's a hard life being on duty. Creasy in work mode. Just the one up.
Keep going round then.
Well, yeah, I tried to get off last time when we go
Oh,
again, so we'll try this time.
Well, if you don't say anything, don't just keep going.
No, we're not just trying to get on.
Alright, okay, you're a good guy.
So lunchtime is never a popular time, is it?
Oh, yeah.
And Gordon has picked up the token. Well, they certainly made a pretty rake passing down through the woodlands. But there's time to wait and talk. Up at the top loop.
And now we go over to Dave Burley at the other end of the line.
Over the bridge at the bottom end of the line. L&D, look. It's amazing where she turns up. It's a 42-foot difference between two ends of the line. It's 1.1 miles long for one circuit. And this thing appears to be a chroma white job. Very nice. Lancashire Lad, followed by Tigger. I'm not sure what Lancashire Lad did when he passed me, but it's half warm. And this one is Swarf. Greetings, sir. From the cool again. There's a whistle and a half. Who's next into the sunshine? Red rum, I think. Wrong again. And L&D. Watch out, there's a sharp house about.
And it seems that both our top
Don't see many
two cameramen
so
are in the same location at the moment.
example.
We go back now to Mark in the woods at the top end of the line.
First up, Ron Manning's Mervyn Ambrosius. Running round through the woodland behind me, approaching that rather large sequoia tree. Great Northern working its way through the woodlands.
It's only really Rom with us, isn't it? Find out who that is. There's a 060 Rom.
Yeah.
Mind you back there coming up.
Made a lovely job of it. Yeah, really nice.
County show there. Yes. Yeah.
Can you get by me?
Carry on. Real tight.
Yeah, you stop. I wondered whether that hand action meant stuff. I wasn't sure whether you had to stick with the foot.
Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink.
Not easy when you're
Back at the station, as they say. Not quite. But a fair old load.
Can you tell Graham when he comes round and I'm
It'll be nice to see this rake running. And the Bagnall Jill. Near Edinburgh. Having a good long steady run, steady pull this. Its longest outings, I think.
good for getting the conversation.
In another Hunsless. Robert. And it's the Flying Dutchman, Kielenberg.
Wasn't he the guy who
Look, got brakes. What about that for a sound? With Brian Ward from Bradford. Right, ready away, driver. See what you mean, Russell?
That is marvellous. Thank you very much indeed.
Keep you going.
It will. It will. I'll tell you.
Well, this is the lonely marshal up here, the one who gets forgotten on occasion. So the cup of tea was most welcome. This little tank certainly runs very, very well, and is seen all over the northwest. Not only the northwest, but up into Perthshire to the Comrie Railroad.
Hi, we believe you. Hi.
I've got you in 5 minutes.
I'll give you 5.
I'll give you 5. You don't put it out here.
I'll just look at up and down and look at what comes in first and what comes in last and not really.
Well, I went down at Ulkway.
Paul's found the cushy number here. Mr. Horizontalis, 7 1/4.
I wondered where that thing was. Okay.
Right. You're going to see people with cine cameras and cameras waiting for the dull-headed Garratts to be coming up. Like a set of 10-pins they are, all stood there waiting. Exciting. Go on, Brian, straight through the lot. Right up the backside. They obviously have great faith in Brian Ward standing there in front of him. And this presumably is some ceremony with a big thank you and the pop of the champagne corks for the refurbishing of the Garratts. Girder Bridge. The heavy climb. Ahead of you to stop. We approach the station. Time to clean the lens. Well, thank you very much indeed, driver.
Before we watch the Garratt in action, here's a couple of shots taken by some other members. These few are by Tim Carver. Derek Burwell was on location near the station. You see a fine cavalcade of locos passing. Judging by the weather, these shots appear to have been taken on the Sunday, which wasn't so good. Vivian Thorpe sent in these shots, mostly taken up in the woods. Bob Durham caught some of these American locos down by the station.
Come on, let's go get that cup of tea.
Get the lads in action.
All right, good. That's how long to anyone to drive these.
And the two Garratt, at last in tandem. Nearly 40 foot of locomotives.
Beautiful. This is absolutely cracking. Thought it would be. You're going to shut the box down here.
After one of several circuits of the track, the two Garratts arrive back in the station from the bottom end loop. At one stage during the Saturday, one of the Garratts sadly failed. That was Mount Kilimanjaro, the oil-fired version. So the Kilimanjaro, the coal-fired engine, continued alone.
Now we've had a bit of a sad failure, but we do have one working Garratt.
Let's watch that last scene again, recorded by Mark Sharphouse.
And the one that got away.
I'm going to put it in straight with them, huh?
Before we end this programme, let's take a ride with Mark behind the one remaining Garratt on this beautiful course at Weston Park.
almost 180 degrees in the engine now. Well, it's Sunday and it's turned up washout. Not good video weather. All from Manchester, a Leek and Manifold logo. Brian Howard's Sprinter, somewhere under those umbrellas, is working his way up to that station. What a shame. People are starting to leave early. It's obviously casting a real damper on the proceedings, but nevertheless we've had it very good for the Friday and the Saturday. And there's not so many takers for the rides. But some people look very colourful. An undercover cover of the old covered station. Still time for conversations. To sit in locos not in steam and stock that's not being used. But still undaunted, they come out on the track. Full frank with that Leek and Manifold. And not to be deterred passengers. Well, this is 7 1/4 in its true style. The end of a glorious year 2000 AGM. Smashing, super, reporting from Weston Park, thoroughly wet, miserable, cheesed off, but looking forward to next year. Smashing. Super.